Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Eric Johnston Live. This is episode 8, I believe. I've lost track. First of all, I'm going to say off the top of the show, I've added some accoutrements to the background of this wall. It was getting all marked up from me banging into it with the chair and from laughing and stuff. So I thought I'd add some more shit to it so I could ruin it. But don't worry, I've got backup. So I'm going to move my fat head. That's a picture of my dad, Bullwhip Johnson, Canadian Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame wrestler. Oh my God, I gotta move my body. My body. That's a picture of me trying to match that picture. But I gotta okay, where's my... Alright. There we go. That's a picture of me trying to match that picture there. And then I gotta... Oh God, I gotta move my mic. No, I won't. Okay, well, this, you can see a corner of a of a picture of me as Vane on Splat-A-Lot. I've added some accoutrements because that's what backgrounds are all about. I'm professional. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is a very interesting episode. Here's the thing. I don't do drugs. However, I don't judge people who do drugs. I drink. As a matter of fact, here we go. Gin, smashed soda, strawberry. Probably my favorite drink right now. Get at me. Get at me, Georgian Bay. Get at me. I drink. I'm a drinker. I can drink with the rest of them. The best of them. But I don't do drugs. Because drugs give me anxiety. I said this on the episode 1 of Eric Johnston Live. I've smoked weed maybe 20 times in my life, and 17 and a half of those times were the worst experience of my life. However, I am curious. I am interested in drug culture, and I'm not talking about heroin. I'm just talking about the drugs that people do, the drugs that is everyday use, recreational, and we're in Canada, so weed is legal. Edibles are legal. Mushrooms, I'm not sure. They're somewhere in there. They're partially legal. I don't know. I am shocked, and we will get into this later in the show. I am shocked how many people do acid, like for fun, for funsies. I only know, like, in my life as growing up as an adult, I knew, like, one guy who was, like, our neighbor, and I used to hear him talking about acid with my dad, and I thought he was talking about, like, battery acid, and he'd be like, those go back to my acid days, and I used to think, like, oh, he works in a battery factory. So I only knew one guy in my life who did acid, but I put these things up on Instagram, tell me your craziest drug stories, and I got, like, 10 acid stories from people who are like accountants and people who are like school teachers. And nothing wrong with it, but I'm just fucking curious. So that's what the show's all about tonight. Now, before we get into it, I'm going to say, as I always do, if you can see me right now, please share this stream. Every time somebody shares this stream, the viewership goes up by 10 to 15 to 20 people. Even if 5 of those people stay for the entire show, that's 5 new Eric Johnston Live fans of the show, fans of not only my work, but people, who are on the show, comedians, musicians. I have all sorts of people coming on the show tonight. So please, if you can see this stream, please share it. I'm already seeing a ton of people sharing it already. My friend Jessica shared it. Nathan shared it. Chuck shared it as always. Barb shared it in the group, the COVID comedy group. So I see you people. I appreciate you people. We are off to the races here. Now, when you're talking about weed, you know those people in your life where they don't have to tell you that they smoke weed, and you can just tell that they smoke weed. I don't know. I call it the Cheech and Chong effect. Some people, and actually our special guest co-host on the show tonight is actually very good friends with Precious Chong, who's, that's a connection. Anyways, when you just meet someone and they just have that vibe and they just have that energy where I'm like, this person smokes weed for sure. And then you see their jokes, you see their comedy, you see who they are, what they're about, and you see the types of shows they do, like shows like Cannabis Comedy Festival, and you're like, I am a fucking detective. But the one common kind of denominator with all of the people who remind me of this is they're all extremely happy people. And I need to get to the bottom of this. Why drugs make people so happy. I'm a generally pretty happy guy. I got in and out of a relationship over the last week, so I was a little bummed out today. And I don't know. I'm the only guy who gets in and out of a relationship in a week during quarantine. But anyways, that's a whole other show. I'm a generally happy person. I deal with my own personal anxiety as a comedian, my own ways, with booze and with my ego and all that kind of stuff, and with ironing shirts, wearing 3 types of cologne, getting haircuts. These are my things. These are my things that make me happy. Some people choose weed. And our special guest co-host of the day is probably one of the happiest people I know, probably one of my favorite comedians in Canada, probably one of the hardest working comedians in Canada. She runs her own comedy festival. She is part of all the Mary Janes of comedy. It's her thing. She's doing it for years. She's put so many female stand-up comics on the map in Canada, and she is widely respected. And the craziest part about it is she's stoned the entire time. I'm going to play you a quick clip of hers, and I'm going to bring her on the show. Everyone, this is Lianne Mauladin. Check it out.
Awesome. I took the subway down here, and I see my favorite ad is back. It's the one that says, "Drugs, where will they take you?" And then you seen it, and then underneath it's like 3 pictures of this girl, and she just gets like progressively worse looking. But if you look at it carefully, really it's just her hair that gets worse. Yeah, so I think the answer to the question, drugs, where will they take you, is to first choice haircutters, right? Obviously, you're gonna go for the cheaper cut and save your money for your drugs.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show my co-host and very good friend, Lianne Mauladin, everybody.
Hi.
Lianne.
It's so funny you say that about my vibe, though.
You don't see that vibe in yourself.
But, okay, so that one is like, that is the only joke I have about drugs. And I get like, the only festival that somebody approaches me for, Cannabis Comedy Festival. Like, everybody, I do give off a vibe, but like I actually have one joke about drugs, and
no one. You know what? For a stoner, you're coming off a little aggressive here off the top. What I'm saying, no one's putting you in the corner of only being a weed comic. Some people are only weed comics.
No,
but I just
think it's funny.
Okay, good. So I just want to say that as you're saying, I'm not just a weed comic. You're sitting next to a rainbow peace sign, and you have a weird skeleton butterfly thing, and a Mexican blanket that every hippie I've ever seen has owned or owns at one point in their life.
They're all over the place. I have like 5.
And you're like, I don't know why people see this about me.
I know. And I got this hat. I got this at the Cannabis Comedy Festival.
Respect the plant. See?
I wore that for the show because I'm not super blonde anymore.
Oh, so yeah, those days are over. I got a black market haircut a couple weeks ago. Don't tell anybody. God. And I'm going to need another one very soon. So, okay. So we have some amazing special guests coming onto the show. We've got people coming onto the show to tell stories about edibles, too many edibles. We have people coming on the show to tell stories about... I don't know. Some guy, I don't know if he's going to make it on the show. He said he's going to try to make it on the show. And he has a story about being high next to elephants in the Serengeti. And he was like, he was super stoned and was like, I need to go pee. And then he like went into the bushes and there was an elephant in the bushes. And he was like, this is real, but I wasn't sure because I was so fucking stoned. So he's going to try to come on. But we have some amazing guests lined up on the show. Now, as I always mention, as soon as the guest comes on, Lianne is our special guest, also our co-host, so she's going to be with us the entire time. However, if you want to come on the show, if you have a drug story and you're like, Eric, dude, I gotta tell you about this, I'm going to put the link in the comments. I just put it in there. It's streamyard.com/zug. I'm going to put that up for everyone. If you click on that link or copy and paste it into your web browser, I believe Chrome works the best for this, or only Chrome works for this service. You open it on your phone or on your laptop, and you can come on and be part of the show called You Trippin', Man. Now, people are already texting me, hey, hold on. See, people are like, where do I find the link? See, I knew this was going to be a problem because people are stoned. And I was like, hey, come be on my drug show. And they're like, how? And I'm like, this is how. They're like, but how? And I'm like, but this is how. So I'm going to do this real quick. Hold on.
You know, the way that you describe your drug experiences, that is super, like, that's like my drinking experiences.
See,
like,
I guess I
can't drink. Like, I either just don't know when to stop or I'm allergic to it.
I've heard that one.
But I don't do it.
The only people who are truly allergic to alcohol, large Asian population are allergic to alcohol. I found that out when I was living in Vancouver. But
once I had 8 shots and I had to go to St. Joe's Hospital in Hamilton and get 2 full bags of intravenous. I couldn't stop throwing up. So I feel like I have a problem.
So, okay. See, people are stoned. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted by everyone being like, how do I get on? Okay, hold on. Jessica, I'll send you a link directly. I don't know what's going on here. Nathan was on the show the other day. He can't be on the show, but he probably has some great stories. He maybe can come on the show.
Jessica's on there. She's already Facebooking.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I'm trying to get her the link. I'm sending people the link to come on to this show. I get distracted, because here's the thing. I've mentioned this before. I'm not a nerd here. I'm not a stoner or a nerd. So when people are like, "How do I do this?" I'm like, I only know this much, and we can do this together if we work together. I'm going to send Jessica the link. She probably has some great drug stories.
You know what's funny? You were saying like that I'm very happy.
Yes.
I Friday the 13th in Port Dover.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, just like, for people who don't know, it's like thousands and thousands of bikers just come into this little tiny town for a day. And like, I used to go to it like all the time, and like a whole bunch of times people are like, hey, do you have ecstasy? Do you have ecstasy? Because I'm like the only person that's walking around like smiling.
You're like, I just want, can I just dance in the street? Yeah. Okay, so Nathan says he had to write the link and then type it in the bar. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay? If you're watching this show and you want to come onto the show, send me a quick message on Facebook Messenger, like, hey, I want to come on the show. I will send you the link that way. I don't know what's going on with this stream. People, you have problems joining the show. But I got to text some people. Guys, I'm usually way more professional in this. But again, stoners.
You are. I was going to say, like, I've watched this show. Like, you never have this problem.
It's making me look bad, God damn it. Okay, so I just said I came up with a general. If you want to come on the show, message me. I'll send you a link. So I need to. Yeah. So you are a very happy person, and now So I'm the opposite. We're opposites here. So booze, gin, especially gin of any kind, makes me happy, fun, charming. I think I'm more attractive than I am, which makes me more fun because I take more risk. Yeah. I don't know. Gin is my thing. Weed, and this is, I'm going to say this off the top of the show, and I think this is my issue. I've only smoked weed 20 times, let's call it. And I keep trying it. Everyone's like, here's the thing, dude. You gotta find your strand. Because certain strands have different effects for different people. Now,
anything you have to acquire that much of a taste for isn't your thing.
No, like, exactly.
And whiskey, like, no.
Yeah, so I know that when I drink whiskey, I get overly emotional, sometimes angry. So I don't drink whiskey.
That's good.
My mom learned that lesson as well. We tell my mom she's not allowed to. She has to stay off the darks. I have a joke about it.
A lot of people.
Exactly, right? Now, I've learned that, but that only took one time where I was like, okay, I don't drink whiskey anymore. That's not my thing. But I also think here's the thing, and you grew up. You're Hamilton. Are you a Stony Creek girl? Or you're?
I grew up in Burlington, but all my cousins and my grandparents were all in Hamilton, so I like spend a lot of time in Hamilton. I know Hamilton very well. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Someone's messaging me now. When they can scroll up to the top, the link there. Okay. I don't know. Scroll up, everyone. Chad says scroll up. If you need to join the thing, scroll up. The first time I posted, it works. Okay, so we're figuring this out. But here's the thing, I'm a little younger than you are, but in Stony Creek in the early 2000s to early 2010, the weed was not like, there was no strands. It was just whatever you could get.
Yeah.
And you didn't know if that was sativa, you didn't know if that was indica, you didn't know if it was sprayed with Windex, you didn't know if it was laced, you didn't know if it was sprinkled, they called it like cocoa pops.
Well, in the early 90s, there was a lot of oil.
Mm-hmm.
Ash oil, right?
That was huge. My neighbor lived in a Winnebago in his brother's driveway across the street from my house for most of the 90s. And he was a big oil guy. Again, I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm a kid, but like they would just talk like openly because they're just this type of people there, and they're like, yeah, we just got oil, and I'm like, I'm thinking like oil to cook with, like just like how I thought when people were doing acid was like battery acid. Like I don't know these things. Like when I was at like a preteen, when I used to hear about people smoking pot, I used to picture people just standing around holding a pot. Like I think very literally, I guess. So I was like, I picture like you see in a movie, everyone's sitting in a circle or standing in a circle, and they never kind of show what the what they're smoking. I just pictured in that circle, there's a pot, like a craft dinner pot. Like that's where, like a steel pot with a plastic handle. That's what I thought pot was for a long time.
Were kids like not at your elementary school?
There was kids who did drugs, but again, I was just like, I don't know. I was a competitive dancer. Okay.
Well, hey, I never did till I was like maybe grade. Like there were 5 years of high school when I went, so I was like grade 11.
Yeah.
Probably like no, grade 10. Grade 10 I started smoking, but I played a lot of sports too, and so I had like. I just want to pause for a sec. Like I'm a weird person.
I was just going to say, I just want to pause for a sec. I appreciate that you said I played sports too, like competitive dance was a sport, and I really appreciate you doing that for me.
Competitive dance can be a sport.
Okay, some types of sports.
I can't name a team right now off the top of my head.
The Utah Jazz Hands. But yeah, I was around it. My friends were all stoners. My friends are still stoners. My friends are still, like, whenever I do those weed rooms and they give you a bunch of weed, I always just bring it home for my friends. I'm just like, here you go. And they're like, whoa, that's awesome. So I'm a generous weed giver. I'm just not a good smoker. And because my first maybe 10 times smoking weed were like the most traumatic experience of my life. Like so scary. Like my weed smoking stories are most people's like had too much edibles stories. You know what I mean? Where they're like, dude, I was
fucked. Like, did you just go crazy on it?
No, I would just have panic attacks, which I didn't know was happening.
Oh.
So everyone's just like, he's having a bad trip. He's having a bad trip. When I would just like, I'm thinking I can't breathe. I'm trying to like open my fucking shirt up. Again, this is probably why I wear my shirt so open. I'm traumatized from the neck touching. But I was just like, I would just panic. One time I swear to God, 4 or 5 guys were smoking weed in the back of a car. I was sitting in the middle. I don't know why. I was sitting bitch. And we smoked weed and it just went like boom. Everything slowed down. I started to fucking trip. And I was like, I don't like this. And I stood up. I climbed over my friend Dan. I went out of the car. I ran through a field and climbed a tree. Just climbed it. Because I was in panic. And I thought I need to be higher up. So I climbed a tree.
Yeah. See, like people say like about the anxiety and paranoia and stuff like that. And I think that like, I thought that was just because it was illegal, right? Like, yeah. But like you would still feel that. Probably.
Well, I think I'll say this early in the show. I think my issue with weed and drugs of any kind is I, as an entertainer and as the personality type that I am, I spend a lot of time out. Out. Everything's out. Shows, booking, my face. I fucking do a show in front of a picture of my own face. Everything is out. Everything is, look at me, see me, do this, show this, blah, 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 blah. I need to go. I need to work. I need to be touring all the time. All those things are out. Doing the shows, talking to the people, meeting people, getting their Instagram, getting followers. All that time is out. When I smoke weed or do any kind of hallucinogenic or anything, which I've never done, but I'm saying in those places, it turns me in. And it turns me in way too far.
I was gonna say, maybe you need to take some time and look in. No,
yeah, I would love that. I am the king of not the king. Let's call me the prince of of self-exploration. I am not afraid of that. I've always believed that it takes as much.
Yeah, you're a very open guy. I know that.
Yeah, I think it takes it takes as much courage to explore the deep depths of who you are as a person as it does for a soldier to fight on the battlefield. That's like an old quote that I carry with me. I go in and I think about who I am, but when it's forced from a drug, my body's like, abort, panic, run, this is bad, and then it just, because that happens so many times, it's like, now it's like a roller coaster. Now I do the drugs, or when I would do the drugs, my body would be like, hey, remember that time you climbed that tree and ripped your shirt off because you were panicking? And I'll be like, no, and then it starts to come up again, and then whatever.
The only one that makes me like want to retreat is mushrooms, and like, but I love it. Like, I still really like it. Years ago, Martha O'Neill had a party at her cottage for like a whole bunch of female comics. And so Jillian Thomas and Amanda Day and I were there, and like pretty much everybody else is drinking wine or whatever, right? And we're just like, hey, I got mushrooms. And so I think Candace did them too. And I was like bedridden for the whole night. I was like, we made up this whole scenario that I was like the 800-pound man, because I was just like staying in the room and people were coming by and visiting me and stuff, but I was just not leaving. I remember Candace did some sort of a puppet show with her feet at one point for me. That's a good night. But I like to be really comfortable and not move for hours when I do mushrooms. And that was like when you were on here with Pat and you said that you never did drugs. I'm just like, oh, wow. Oh, my God, really? And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, not even mushrooms? No.
No, you're like, wait, you don't do mushrooms like on the weekend? I gotta get it.
Never?
So I've never done, never have, never will. The only way I'm curious about mushrooms is that they say there's all these studies that it like microdosing mushrooms helps reset an anxious mind or something. I've seen all these articles about that. Now, I talk a lot about anxiety on this show. It's more for comedic. Like, I was fucking blah, 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 blah. I think as entertainers, we all suffer, especially now with the way the world is, we don't know what's going to happen with our lives. We all suffer with some sort of form of depression and anxiety. And I play it up and I joke about it. But so I would be interested to be like, hey, if I have a little, I wonder if I do a little and I just have a little. And, you know what I mean? Where would that balance with me? Also, I'm curious about CBD. Everyone's telling me CBD, that's the miracle, man. Put it on your kneecaps and in your mouth. You feel great. Now, I don't know. Even someone gave, what is it? Someone gave me CBD oil. It's called Phoenix Tears. And which is not a relaxing name, by the way.
Things never used to have these names like Death Bubba Rockstar.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Death Bubba Kush Snoop fucking penis stuff. I'm like, what?
Yeah, rolled in this Kush, dipped in that. I'm just like, what is this?
The guy gave it to me and he was like, dude, this is gonna be so good for you. You're gonna sleep great. You're gonna blah 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 blah. Like it's just the best. It's a miracle drug. And I'm like, is there THC in it? He's like, dude, it's 0.001 parts per whatever THC, but it's 0.99.999% pure CBD. And because he said 0.001% THC, I was like, I'm not taking it. And he's like, I'm like, I'm not taking it. I'm like, that is Like I feel like when girls don't want to leave their drinks around at a place because they want to get date raped. I don't like eating anything baked at parties because I think there could be weed in this, and then I'm locked in.
I always wish there's weed in. I go around and I'm like, oh, look at this. Looks like it could be an edible.
No,
I was just like, yeah, like I forget who I was talking with. We were talking about, have you ever taken drugs that you found? Like,
yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, yeah.
You're like, how else do you get your drugs? Okay. Well, I already have 3 guests lined up at the bottom. I can see, I don't know if you can see them. I can see them. They're waiting to come on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, before I bring on our first guest of 3 so far, we have more people coming on the show. Don't you worry. We're going to do quick drug stories here. I usually like to do 90 minutes for this, but something tells me we're going to be going a little further tonight. Now, if you're, again, I say this before I bring on our first guest, if you can see me and Lianne right now, please share this stream. It means the world to Lianne and I, and also our very special guests. Now, this guy was on the show before. He was on the last show, so I'm only going to have him on for a quick, so he better be locked and ready for a quick, great story. Something tells me that he has one, though. He was on the show last week for the travel edition, told a quick story. This one is the drug show. As soon as I started the show, he was in the buffer waiting to come on the show. So something tells me that he's got one loaded. He's a very good friend of mine. He's a big fan of the show. He watches every single week. Please welcome Chad Legree, everybody.
Hello, everybody. It was more I was calling to help people get through to your show, but I do have one of them.
Okay, good, quick one.
Those little stories, a quick one, yeah. That one time, you drop a hit of acid, and next thing you know,
no, I don't know.
No, you don't. You're down at Hamilton Beach, and it kicks in, and you're sitting there laying on the rocks in the water and drooling on yourself, listening to the waves for 6-7 hours.
Did you have a shirt on?
Yes, it was summertime though. It was the middle of the night. It's just, you're just sitting there staring at the sky, and the fucking waves are going.
On the roof and square.
The roof of Jackson Square?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably be the last place I did that.
You're like, look at all this concrete. It's so peaceful.
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy shitting in the alcove over there. I feel great.
No, now for anybody that's trying to get through to your show, I know they're having issues. If they back out to right before they log into the live show, they'll see all the chat that's there, and the link there is there. It's live to tap.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, well, you're the man. Thanks for coming on and telling a quick acid story.
All right, guys, have a good night.
Chad Legree, see you, buddy. Perfect. What an angel. He does acid. He helps the show. What a guy. Now, before I bring on our next guest, because that was even quicker than I thought it was going to be.
Acid's my favorite, by the way. Like, of all the drugs, acid's the best.
Oh man, here's the thing. I couldn't even imagine a world where I did acid. I don't think there's an amount of money. I really don't think there's an amount of money that, like, I would say everyone has a price. How much would it cost for you to do this, and how much would it cost for you to do that? I don't think there's a price for me to do acid. Now, I'm not against it, and everyone's like, dude, it's the best. I would be one of those guys who like panics and jumps off a building because he thinks he can fly or something. I think about that, and that alone makes me fucking so anxious. Now, Chad brought up a good point about the whole laying and looking at the stars while high. Is that a thing? Because it seems like that's what everybody does. Today, again, on my Instagram questionnaire thing that I did, I got like 8 or 9 where it was like, dude, went camping, bought a bag of mushrooms, stared at the stars, ate popcorn. It was like just.
It's like a low energy group activity, right? So we're big on that. We do a lot of lie on our backs, looking at stars, for sure.
Just camping alone, I don't like.
Okay, well, I'm a fair weather camper. Like, okay. I like it if the sun's out and it's like really hot and the weather's perfect and there's no bugs. So like there's like a week in August where that happens. But Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of stuff.
I want to understand. I want I wanted to be open to this world. But like my buddies, my group of guy friends were called the Rat Pack, but over the years it's just been shortened to the Rats, which is a funnier nickname anyways. Rat Pack is kind of douchey. But my friends the Rats, once or twice a summer, they rent a cottage in the Muskokas or a yurt in the Muskokas, or even just a campsite in the Muskokas, and they all go up there and they do drugs. And it's their favorite weekend of the year.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time.
And it's all of the male friends. They go up. I only know this because I've never been. And these are my guys who have been my best friends for like 20 years. And they go, and they're like, dude, we're going to go up. Okay, we got this food to barbecue. We have this is where we're staying. This is what's going to happen. We're all going to chew mushrooms around noon. Then maybe we'll do MDMA at midnight. I'm like, what? This is what you guys want to do? They're like, yeah, we go to the middle of nowhere. It's great. I'm like, so if something went bad and you were all on drugs and you guys were in the middle of nowhere, they're like, what's going to happen? I'm like, I could already think of 12 scenarios that could happen. Bears, robbers, Friday the 13th guy. I think about all these things and I'm like, that is not fun to me. Again, people are like, this is great. And I'm like, it's
so funny. And you're telling a story last week about how you met some crazy guy at the bar and took a ride from him and went to his friend's house, and that would scare the fuck out of me.
See, everybody's different.
No, I don't take rides with strangers.
That guy took me in a boat and brought me to the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and I'm like, this is fine. This is great.
Exactly.
Because there was booze. It was booze. It was ciders. It was a ciders experience. If he was like, I'm going to take you on the boat and we're going to do mushrooms and we're going to go to the middle of the Pacific Ocean, I'd be like, fuck that.
Fucked up, man. I'm not going.
Okay, I'm going to bring on our next guest.
Yeah.
She is an amazingly talented singer-songwriter. She has just recently toured with Kim Mitchell, patio lanterns and stuff like that. The Y108 rock star that Kim Mitchell is. He's international, but whenever I think of Kim Mitchell, I think like Y108 at like 12:30 in the afternoon, and you just hear like, Boswell, go for soda, nobody hurts, nobody cries. So, she had just toured with Kim Mitchell just before COVID had hit, and it was so great to see her, and I'm so proud of her. And she's a very good friend of mine and a super talented musician and also drug user. Please welcome Laura Cole, everybody. Hello.
Hi.
How's it going? Hey.
Laura, this is Lianne, Laura. I feel like you guys would be best friends for the rest of your lives. I can already tell.
I really like your vest or your jacket or your blanket, whatever's going on there. Nice.
Design, baby. My favorite.
The best part about this is when I could see you in the buffer of the show before I could bring you on, you were smoking a bowl. I was watching you. And I was like, she's going to be perfect.
Perfect.
So, I'm gonna again say this before we get into Laura's story, because actually she probably has multiple stories, and one of them includes me, which is fantastic.
She's a musician, I think so.
So yeah, exactly. So I gotta remind everyone, please, if you can see us right now, share this stream. It's so important. Every time you guys share it, it goes up. It's already been shared 12 times. Every time it gets shared, the viewership goes up by 10, 15, 20, 30 people, and that means the world to me and everyone watching. And thank you to everyone who's been commenting along. I've been very deep into my drug stories. I haven't really been paying attention to the comments. Larry Price, my friend from California, one of my best friends in the entire world, said, I heard Friday the 13th. Anyone else? That would make sense because I don't know about scary movies either. That's another one of my bugaboos. This whole show, Eric Johnston Live, is just, let's just talk about the things that make Eric anxious. Sandy says,
Lianne Mauladin, character you are.
I know, fuck. I need these two people in my life. See, and I know you're not talking about me, and I'm not offended. I can tell, Jessica, that you need these two girls in your life. Okay, so Laura, actually, I'm also going to do this. Laura Cole Music on Instagram. Please follow her. And for all her great adventures. So, tell me. I know. I just need your go-to, what's your best drug story go-to situation type thing.
I mean, I think my favorite one that I have is I remember going to a park, like down at, what's it, Coots Paradise?
Yep.
And we dropped a bunch of mushrooms. We walk over that little bridge. I mean, we had dropped them before we left, so it was like
You're like,
they
let's
started
roll the dice on
you know?
when this hits in the middle of our walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's terrifying to
We
me,
were,
by
like,
the way, but go ahead.
we were like rolling joints. We're like, oh yeah, okay, we're getting ready for our big walk, right? And we walk over the bridge, and I dropped my keys into the water.
No. The car keys that you drove to get
The
there?
car keys. Yeah.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Like, I was like, I was screwed.
Yeah.
Right? But I was in such a good mood. I was tripping. I was like, whatever. Let's just still go for our walk.
let's forget the location of where I dropped these keys.
Yeah, like, I
You
was like,
went in to try and get them.
oh no, I didn't even bother. I was just like, you know what? Because I couldn't see them, right? I was like, we were all looking. The two guys I was with were freaking out, my friend Johnny and Greg, and we just went for a walk. It was around the time that Michael Jackson had died, so.
Ooh, I remember that day. I was going to see Propagandhi in Toronto. I was on the GO train. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
I don't remember
we
it.
kept walking and singing MJ tunes and like going out to the water and heal the world, make it a better place. Like just going for it. It was hilarious. It was so great. And then it started raining. And we were like, oh, that's not ideal for our situation.
But weren't
right?
you also like, the gods, the heavens have graced us with a shower? Did you have that
Exactly.
energy? Okay.
Oh, for sure. I was like skipping and singing in the rain with the guys. It was amazing. It was actually like my favorite trip, I think, ever.
Really?
Coots
And-
Paradise is a good location for stuff,
It's
eh?
great, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
man.
good
I've had
spot
some
to
good
hang
trips,
out.
I've had some bad trips there, you know?
You're either looking at the stars or you're looking at the water, Eric. Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
Ugh.
water
On
or
our
the
way
stars.
back- yeah. So on our way back, it's super, like, it's probably 2 a.m. at this point. I just pull out my keys from my pocket.
What?
Like, I was just high.
You're like, oh, whoops, there they are. Your friend's covered in mud. He's like,
You're
what the
like, "Where
fuck?
I had them the whole time. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Oh my god.
God,
So,
I can't.
um,
It was really-
you're
And then there's, of course, oh, am I breaking up?
you're breaking up just a bit. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I can still hear you. It just sounds like you're going through a popcorn mill.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the 27 necklaces you're wearing.
Hey,
Yep.
now.
Yeah, way better. But I don't want you to have to feel like you're stuck like that.
Is it? No, that's not it. They're
okay.
still crackling.
Okay.
Anyways,
I want to talk about the first time we met,
yes.
and you were on mushrooms that evening. I later found out. So I want you to tell your version of the story, and I want to tell my version of the story, and we'll see how much we match up.
Okay. So I was at this, it was kind of a star-studded event.
Thank you.
fashion
That's
show.
a great start because I was there. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean,
And you were there. So we were equally star-studded.
equally star-studded. Man, this isn't getting any better, is it?
No. And I just
Okay.
knocked the poster off behind me. Things are great. This is the drug gods being like, don't talk about us.
Oh man, I wonder why it's doing that.
You're probably high and it's not happening. Oh,
Maybe.
maybe when you move your head to the side like that, it actually stops. Okay, let's just go. I think maybe if you just run through
Okay,
it.
sorry.
Oh wait, you have your
So,
headphones in? Hold on, I just can't see. Do you have your headphones in? Maybe take them out and just use your phone or your regular mic audio.
I mean, it wasn't going through there anyway, but I don't understand why.
Okay. See, this is like the keys situation.
All right.
Huh? Okay.
It's not my necklaces.
No, okay, I believe you. I'm sorry. I just but Let's not fight. We're on the
Anyways,
TV show right now. Okay.
So, star-studded event, you
Yep.
know, for a Hamilton brand that we all know and love. I won't drop names. Should I drop?
No, it's a good.
whatever.
Hamilton is home. Max Francis.
Hamilton is home. Yeah. So we're on the patio at Radius and we're hanging out. I'm sitting around in the patio furniture
Yeah.
with the patio lanterns.
How Kim Mitchell of you?
And somebody gave me mushrooms, so I was like, awesome, yes, I will take those. They start to kick in and my friends are like, oh, we have to go to the bathroom, watch our drinks. And I'm like, cool. Like, just
You're like, it
tripping.
doesn't matter, I'm on mushrooms. Yeah, you can literally
Yeah.
say anything right now, I'll say yes.
Yeah. So then, you know, in walks Eric, who's just like, yeah. Sits down next to me, right
Okay.
next to me.
You're right so far.
And he asked me to make out. He said something about, he did say something about also like me being a future ex-wife of his or something.
That's very
along those
true.
lines.
Yeah. It's one of my pickup lines.
I mean,
yeah.
it sounds like it, right?
You're so
Anyway,
good so far.
then I declined,
Politely.
and as you got up, when my friends returned, you realized that you sat in gum on the seat next to me.
Yes. Okay. So
And then for like, I don't know, an hour and a half, people were trying to get gum off your ass
yes,
with
okay.
like ice. They were trying ice, like a knife.
Oh, I
What
thought
else
you
were
just
they
let him go with the gum.
No, she was so mushroomed out.
I thought you were like, look, that guy sat in gum.
Okay. So I'll just stop right there for a second. There's just some minor details that need to get added into the story so I don't look like a complete piece of shit. So we were at this event for the Hamilton is Home spring launch. Actually, crazy that we tell this story. It was almost exactly a year ago today. It was May 17th, 2019.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is also crazy because I told that fishing story the other day about me going out to the Pacific. I woke up the next morning, my Facebook memories were that fishing trip. It was the next day, like 3 years later.
Weird.
The universe is fucking wild, man. So
It's like we're having a groundhog year of 2019.
exactly. So I was hosting the spring launch. I was the host and MC for the event. It was a great event. I had so much fun. It was just such a great night. The after party was at Radius. Max said to me, have whatever you want. It's on me.
What a hot shot.
Is not a smart thing to say to me because I'll be like 17 gin and sodas, please, and a bottle of Don Perignon. But no, I paid a little, but then he's like, I got you a couple drinks, whatever. So I see the lovely Laura Cole sitting at this little seated area by herself, and I'm pretty drunk, I will admit. And
if it was an open bar, I think you were probably a little bit.
Okay. So I will also say this. I was wearing a tuxedo because when I host massive events like that, I like to wear a tux because first of all, I have a tuxedo sponsor. I like to give them the business. And I also like to look nice, as is my brand. So I'm wearing a salmon pink tuxedo. I sit down to Laura and I said, what are you sitting over here? What are you trying to be, my future ex-wife or something? I can't remember how it came off, which is funny. She laughed, charming. But then I didn't just say, do you want to make out? I did it in a very...
He just went right at you. Like,
yeah, I was like, I actually don't recall saying it. What I said was, I said it in like a very Night the Roxbury way. So like it was like quiet for a second. So I turned to you, I'm like, so do you want to make out? Or like I said it as a joke. But if you said yes, we 100% would have made out.
that's right. You said it as a joke, so your feelings wouldn't be.
Okay, girls, it's not a fucking therapy session about how I pick up shit.
Yeah, I'm just
curious. But then her friends came back, and then I was like, okay, well that's my cue. I can't spin the plates with 6 of these chicks here. I need singular focus, or I'm out and disappear into the night. So I say, do you want to make it, whatever? And then I get up and I'm like, I try to be a gentleman. I'm like, I hope you have a great night, Laura. I'll see you later. As I'm walking away, I realize that I'm sticking to the couch that I was sitting on. And I'm like, what the fuck? And Laura is on mushrooms, just starting to peak. And she's trying to say, he sat in gum. And she's laughing so fucking hard. So I actually pulled, I hope we can see this. There's a video of all of her friends Laura, you can hear Laura laughing in the background, very high on mushrooms. Her friends are trying to ice my asshole because they're trying to get the gum off my tuxedo pants. It's a short clip. I'll pay it for everyone. Here we go.
Holly, it's not getting hard. Holly, it's still not hard enough. No, we're good, Eric.
You hear that a lot.
So I'm literally yelling, "Get new ice! Get new ice!" So she was laughing. And I had to return my suit to the tuxedo rental place. And they're like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I tried to make out with this chick who tours with Kim Mitchell, and I ruined your pants. I apologize." Yeah. Well, and then the next time I saw Laura, she was
friends ever since.
Yeah, we've been great friends. And actually, the last time I saw her was at the J.R. Diggs Christmas party, and she was running a kissing booth for charity. And she's like, "You want to kiss?" I'm like, "How much?" She's like, $20. I'm like, "I'll get you later when it's free." And then I never saw her again. So
she was just joking. She just said it on like Night at the Roxbury, you know?
I was like, "I'll get you later when it's free."
Exactly.
See, that, girls, let me tell you something about my game. It's half kidding. I'm half kidding on everything. I make a suggestion. If it's outlandish, they're like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "I'm kidding." But if they're like, "Okay," I'm like, "I'm not kidding." So that's my, if you want to know, I don't do drugs. I'm afraid of space. I don't like camping, and I half kid on all my
doors
charm.
open, you know?
Laura, I'm going to kick you off just because I have so many guests tonight, but I love that you came on and we told that story. Laura, I love you. Everyone follow Laura at Laura Cole Music when she's doing, you can see all of her amazing music, and I love her. And someday maybe we'll get that makeout. Bye, Laura. Bye.
Yeah.
What do you want? I am what I am. As the sweet potato said to the squash, I am what I am. Or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm watching our guests line up tonight, and I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Our next guest coming to the show. I met this guy up in Sudbury, Ontario. He's a super hilarious comedian. I believe he's native Canadian, right? We'll talk about it on the show. I think that's how we bonded. I said, "I'm native," and he's like, "I'm native." I'm like, "I'm a comedian." He's like, "You're a comedian." And then we became best friends. He produces comedy shows all over Northern Ontario, and he's such a funny dude, and he's on the show right now. Please welcome Kevin Shawanda.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, look at that, Mike. You got great mic. Hey,
you know what I did? I was afraid that we're going to have sound issues, so I took all my necklaces off. So I think we're good.
Good idea.
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Good, dude. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm going sort of crazy in my house, but
You still have like a foot of snow up there or what?
2 feet.
Please, not 1 foot.
Come
I was
on.
up there for the comedy festival, not last winter, but the winter before. I liked it.
Oh, I love Sudbury. Sudbury was my second comedy home for a bit. I was dating a burlesque dancer up there, so I kept going up there.
Of course.
Oh, who were you dating?
You know, Kayla Case, little Miss Cherry.
I know Kayla Case.
Yeah. I dated her for 2 years. She cheated on me. She moved in with a new dude. So she's good.
Oh, classic. I think she's from Manitoulin Island, so we're all alike.
She is from Little Current. I went up there and saw the swing bridge. It was a nice weekend we had.
I'm from Birch Island, like 10 minutes down the road.
Oh, no fuck.
Oh, fuck. Come on.
What a fucking quinky dink that is.
Oh.
Yeah. So, dude, I know it's so funny when I put this thing up today. You right away were like, "I have a story," so you better bring the fucking heat because I know that you got one. I'm gonna put this on here. Kevin Shawanda comedy. I think that's all spelt right. I had to do that quickly because I didn't know you were coming on. I knew you were coming on. I just didn't. You know what I mean. Kevin Shawanda comedy. Follow him on Instagram. Super hilarious comic from Sudbury. Originally from somewhere island in Manitoulin Island.
Yeah,
dude. I know you got stories. I know you're a funny dude. I cannot wait. What do you got for me?
Oh, I got a million fucking stories, but I think I'm gonna go with the first time that I ever did mushrooms.
Okay. Lianne's already locked into this story.
Oh, dude. So back when I lived home on the res, when I was about 19, 20 years old, I used to be the librarian on the reservation.
Okay.
So I was there all the goddamn time. But that I don't know why I said that, but this is
No,
neither here nor there.
Now we're gonna get government funding for this live stream. I appreciate
I
it.
was fucking mad proud of that job, bro.
Yeah.
But so anyways, my cousins would always have like this poker tournament every fucking week. We'd get lit up, and it'd be like a big family thing. There's probably about 15, 20 of us there. And my cousin Dan comes up to me and says, "Hey man, I got mushrooms. Do you want to try mushrooms?" I said,
I just want to pause you for just a sec. It's always cousins who have the drugs. It's
guaranteed.
always my cousin Chris. Every family event, he's like, "I have this drug. Do you want to do it?" And I'm like, "I do not." And he's like, "My sister Holly." He's like, "You want to try some, Holly?" He's like, "I'll try a little bit." And then they're dancing and they're fucking singing show tunes, and I'm in the corner getting drunk. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, so Dan's like, "Hey, I got these drugs. Do you want to try it?" I said, "Well, I've never tried mushrooms before, but hell yeah, I'll try it."
Yeah.
So he's like, "Here, I'll give you a gram." I was like, "Perfect." So I ate the gram, and about an hour later, I thought to myself, "Well, I don't feel any different.
Yeah.
I should try another fucking gram." And he said, "You know what? Yeah, you should try another gram." He gave it to me. I ate it. I swallowed it, and he said, "See you later."
Oh,
said,
that's terrifying. Oh, that just made
no.
my heart drop.
So it was me. My mom was there, of all people.
Oh, you don't want to be on mushrooms around your mom.
Oh, my mom. She's seen some fucking shit. But so anyways, we're like, I remember like we're all out. It was like a smoke break, and we're sitting outside, and like where we were, we're just like on the outside of the reservation, like near a lake. So it's super misty, and there was one. There was this one light that was shining in the distance, and it would like you see streaks like going past yourself while you're sitting there. Okay. And I'm fucking 100% lit on mushrooms right now.
You're actually 2 grams worth of lit of mushrooms.
Oh, dude, I'm like I couldn't talk. I was just laughing, and my mom's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, I could not say one word whatsoever. She said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I don't want to talk to you right now." She said, "Why?" I said, "Because there's a black hole beside me, and it's just going to eat up all my words." Okay. So she said, "Oh no." She said, "What did he take?" I said, "I don't know what I took. I was trying to protect my cousin."
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the one time that my mom saw me just super wrecked on mushrooms.
That's like the line. That's like the kiss of death. I don't really feel anything. Should I take more?
There's so many fucking memes, and I'll talk more about edibles with our last guest of the evening, Nicole Todd, because she makes edibles for a living. But
true.
I'll talk about that more. But it's always that. It's always like, I don't feel anything. I'm just gonna do it
again. It's the same as like your metabolism, right? So like I have a fast metabolism. So when I take something, I feel it fast. Like something's supposed to take 20 minutes, I feel it in 10. If you have a slow metabolism, you might not feel it for 30 minutes. So you just have to remember that.
Stoner math. You're like, listen, if you can eat a pizza and be hungry in 30 minutes, you got a fast metabolism.
I'm sure to remember that 15 years in the past.
You're like, when I get my fucking time machine fixed, I'll let you know how that goes for me.
Yeah.
But it's always funny when I hear about these stories about laughing. Everyone's just laughing. When shatter pens became, who's that? Your mom in the background? Is she here doing the?
Yeah, my mom. That's my wife.
Okay. Either way.
She's like, she's smoking weed in the background. I heard her coughing.
She's fucking Jamaican hotboxing the bathroom.
I heard her coughing. I was like, this is apropos.
Is she smoking weed right now? Tell her that that's amazing and we appreciate her background.
They appreciate you back here. Do you want to hop on me? She said, fuck that.
That was perfect. That's going to make the clip show. What was it? Laughing. So when these shatter pens first came out, everyone was smoking shatter pens. This was one of the few times I had a really good time on weed. A very good time. Okay. So of the 17 and a half bad trips, I've had one, was that 2.5? I don't know how math works. 2.5 good times. So this was one of them.
And so think of everything that was different about that time.
Oh, no, it was same situation. It was a house party. This is my secret, though. If I'm ever going to smoke weed, this is what I do. I can't go from sober to stoned. I have to go from sober to couple drinks buzzed to I'll have one hit. That's my formula. So yeah, and my sister's the opposite. My sister cannot smoke weed if she's had it, even if she even smelt wine. My sister like smells alcohol. She can't smoke weed. She mixes. She pukes. I am the other hand where I'm like, okay, I'm going to I'm gonna have a couple drinks. We're at a house party, and my friend Evan, they all these guys get this weed order from the internet, and they got the first like round of shatter pens, and they're all standing around in a circle, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I was like, this was a couple of years ago. I was like, I don't know. I was just calling me 26. I was like, I'm 26 now. I need to get beyond this fucking bad trip shit. I need to get fucking stoned. And there's like guys like, dude, I've been smoking weed every day for 20 years or 15 years. This shit's fucked. Are you sure? And I literally went, fuck it. And went like, and nothing came out. You know when you smoke something and you're expecting an exhale? I'm like, it didn't work. They're like, it worked. I'm like, no, it didn't. And I fucking pressed the button again and it inhaled again. The next thing I know, we're standing in a circle in the basement of whoever's house we were at. I don't even really remember. And there was a bunch of people. There was all my guy friends, couple of their girlfriends, a couple of their girlfriends, single girlfriends. So everyone's trying to mix and mingle and whatever. And
still trying to work the room.
yeah, I'm still trying to fucking Frank Sinatra the whole situation. I'm telling half makeout jokes. I'm trying to do Night at the Roxbury everywhere.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking in my mind, my friend Dan is standing next to me. My skinny friend Dan. He's one of my best friends. I've known him for 20 years. I thought in my mind, it would be funny if I flicked his boob. If I just flicked like a pure like bro like pancake, like one of those moves from like the early 2000s. And I thought, I'm literally thinking, how funny would it be if I brought that back right now? So I was like, we're standing there and I'm meditating on this. Like, I'm gonna flip his nipple. I'm gonna flip his nipple. It's gonna be great. Everyone's gonna laugh. I'm gonna fucking kill here. So I literally, we're talking, and I go like this, and I go like, oh, I gotta get it in the camera. I go like, freak, and I just flick Dan's nipple. Now, what had happened was Dan had left the circle. My friend Christina, and it's her birthday today, she replaced Dan, and I had not looked over yet. So I literally flicked Christina's nipple, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I look, and all I did is I just collapsed into laughter tears. I couldn't speak. I couldn't say anything. And this girl's pissed. She's like, why the fuck did you just flip my nipple? And I'm going like, I thought you were there. I couldn't even get the words out. I must have laughed for like, I usually kind of lose all concept of time when you're really fucking high, but I must have laughed for I think 45 minutes, so much so that I was getting scared that I wasn't breathing enough and I was gonna die that way. But the idea of dying from laughter was funny to me, so I just continued to laugh and I started this laugh train. And they were all fucking high. We must have laughed for 4 hours. And that's but then I was like, I remember a couple times I was looking at my friends like, this is great. Why can't this happen every time? So
that's sort of like you're afraid of like sky jumping and they're like, hey, you want to go base jumping? You're like, 100%. And it just works out. Like it works out inexplicably, right?
I think anyone who does something like that, skydiving or whatever, they're like, I want to do it again. It's like the first time you do stand-up comedy. Everyone, the first time you did it, you're fucking terrified. And you're like, oh, as soon as you get off stage, you're like, I want to do that again. I'm addicted to that now. And I understand that element of the drugs and the whatever. It just never worked for me. It's like literally, it's like if you're going to relate me doing drugs to stand-up comedy, it's like every time I do drugs, I bomb at doing drugs. I just completely fucking bomb. That by the end, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I'm like a bitter open mic crew bomb for 3 years, and I'm like, I'm done with this. This system's all fucked. So that's how
you don't change like your set whatsoever, but you just do the same thing over and over again. It's like comedy just doesn't work. I don't know.
It's the audience. It's not me. It's like me. I'm like, it's the strands. It's not me.
It's not any.
Dude, Kevin, that's hilarious. I'm glad you came on the show, man. I can't even imagine what it'd be like to be on 2 grams of mushrooms, looking at a misty lake, talking into a black hole. Lianne, I think, has had that exact thing happen to her.
It was awful.
I can imagine it.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. It was great, though.
Fuck. I'm glad you're on the show, dude. When this is over, when this is all over, I'm going to do a run in Sudbury. So I'd love to have you on some of the
You're
shows.
more than welcome to come. I'm going to be doing some backyard shows when they loosen it up a little bit.
Stole my idea. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Actually, I put that thing up, and there was that comic from Edmonton that everyone was sending me the article like, oh, he's doing this too in Edmonton. I'm like, I guess it's just something that people want to do. So I'm going to do, actually, I should bring that up right now while we're on here. The Eric Johnston Campfire Comedy Tour, Summer 2020.
He doesn't even like camping.
I hate camping, but I will do comedy at the shows, dude. When I'm up in Sudbury, we'll talk. Okay?
I'll consider it reparations, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm a quarter native. We can do this together. See you, buddy.
You got it.
Oh, what a funny guy that guy
Oh,
is.
he's nice.
I actually found a video before we bring on our next guest. We actually have found live footage of me having a bad trip. This is
my God.
Before I share this video, guys, I want anyone who's watching right now, this is a big shareable moment. If you want to share this moment, I would love that you share this stream. I'm watching people share it. I appreciate you. I love you. 12 people, 13 people, 14. There's a bunch of people who have shared this stream. So I really appreciate you and everyone who's sharing it. This
is shatter, or this is just smoking weed?
Well, you'll see. This is me. This is me having a bad trip. 15 shares for this live stream. I appreciate it. We got live footage. I'm actually gonna bring us. It's such a groundbreaking moment that I'm actually gonna pull you and I out of the stream so we can actually go full stream. So here we go, guys. We're gonna be back in just a second. This is a quick commercial break of live footage of me having a bad trip on drugs. Here we go.
I'm going to die today. I know. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. No, I'm going to die today. I know. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
Oh God, that's me. That's literally what it looks like every time I do drugs. Okay, I'm gonna bring on our final guest of the evening. Unless someone else wants to join, we might actually have some time for a fourth or final. It's actually incredible to me that people are actually joining the show and having fun and telling their stories. It means the world to me. So thank you, everyone who's coming on the show.
Do you do like drugs, like prescription drugs? Like if
No. I don't even take Tylenol. I suffer through.
One of the very craziest trips I ever had was Tylenol 3s.
Ooh.
It was in high school. I got my wisdom teeth out, and I was supposed to take one every 2 hours, and I was taking 2 every 1 hour.
Ooh, misread the label.
I hallucinated like cartoon characters. I was in chemistry class at school. And there were like little soldier ants marching up the desk. And I just started laughing. And like you're saying, you can't stop laughing. I was just laughing my fucking head off on these T3s in my chemistry class. And the teacher's like, get out.
Yeah. You're like, why? This is me. You guys don't see the ants?
And I'm like, oh my God, these things are wicked.
And that's how people get addicted. I tried making my own. I could see. So I broke my collarbone in grade 11. Snowboarding. Actually, a little known fact about Eric Johnston, anyone who's watching, I was actually a pretty good snowboarder.
Really?
Yeah, I used to ride in the park and ride on the rails and do the jumps and stuff. It was like a weirdly athletic thing that I was good at, and I just loved it. I broke my collarbone.
Stoner activity too.
I know a lot of stoner culture loves snowboarding, but it just happened to be that I didn't smoke weed. I just like to snowboard. I actually broke my collarbone snowboarding at Blue Mountain. I was actually doing like a rail. Like you picture a rail and you jump and you slide down it. I fell.
This isn't a drug show. If you say you're doing a rail, it doesn't.
No, not a Hamilton rail, a snowboarder rail. And so I was doing jumps and stuff. Radical. Russell just said jumps and stuff.
Totally
radical. I fell, broke my collarbone. Now I shattered it like a pencil, right in half. And they gave me Percocet. Now, I think there's a major, before I even make jokes about Percocet, I think that there's a major problem with opioid addiction, especially in the city. And if anyone's experiencing that, please get help. However, I get it. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I kind of related it to? Like, I would take one perk and it was like drinking 6 beers, but without the bloating. It was like you were just like, you're like party mode, like everything's good, everything's fine, no worries. I want to talk to people, I want to dance, but I also want to chill. I also want to watch a movie. Like, it was just like all of the good feelings that you have were at one shot, and that's what Percocet was for me. And they knew, because I think I was 17 at the time. They knew to limit my use of the Percocet. I think they gave me like 20 pills. And actually, who's watching this show, Jessica Brown, at a house party of hers, I did 2 back to back. And that was the only time I ever like did drugs at a house party. I just
That's
popped 2.
crazy.
I popped 2 perks.
Did you give Jessica one?
No. She didn't know. I was like, I just need an orange juice this evening. I actually don't need any beer. Shatter is scary. See, and also is popping 2 perks. We were at a house party at Jessica's old house, just around the corner from here. I popped 2 perks, and it was a fucking wild ride. Now, I don't remember much of it, but I do remember like feeling fantastic and being like, I should do this all the time. And then I ran out of perks, and then there was a time where I was like, holy fuck, this is why people are addicted to this shit. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I haven't done them since. So that's kind of the only real prescription drug experience I have. For Coke, I know Coke is very popular in my city of Hamilton, and that's fine.
My city of Hamilton.
My fair city.
I love that.
My fair city of Hamilton. Cocaine is a very big problem.
It's a staple.
It's a staple. It's actually shocking. I never realized. I knew Hamilton people did a lot of coke in Hamilton, but I didn't realize how much it was until I started to be closer with the bouncers and the bar owners and stuff like that, friends of mine, and how much that was a part of not their life, but everyone else's life at the bar. But then the first time I toured Canada, I didn't realize how much of a global or countrywide national problem cocaine was until I went to cities across this entire country. And the theme was very good shows. Every single person offered me coke. Every single, like after every show, after every single show, someone offered me cocaine. And the reason is, if you've seen my act, and a lot of people have seen my act, I'm very high energy and flamboyant and bouncing around. It looks like
I thought you were on drugs when I first met you.
Yeah, see? Exactly. And everyone's like, this guy parties, he's super fun, he's super flamboyant, give him some coke. But I don't do coke at all. One time I did do a bump, as the kids are calling it. I was fucked up. I was super drunk at a club. I can say that the club. I'm there all the time, so it's like fuck. It's called Club Absinthe in Hamilton. Now, I had a friend there who he's a coke guy. Does a lot of coke. Sells it, does it, gives it to people. He's a coke guy. I'm not gonna name him. But I was super fucking drunk. The band Monster Truck had played a secret show at Absinthe, and I was fucking wasted. And I was like, I have to go because I was going to meet my girlfriend at the time. And I'm like, she can't see me this drunk. She can't. And my friend said to me, well, fuck. You know I'll straighten you out. Do a bump. Do a bump. And I am very much not against drugs. Do the fuck you want. I just personally am against drugs. I was like, okay. So I fucking immediately, because I guess what happens is you get the drips, they're called. The drips, the cocaine drips. The cocaine turns into liquid in your schnoz and drips down the back of your throat. I didn't know what that was, and I had just gotten over a cold, so I was a little phlegmy. So the cocaine and the fucking and the mucus, the drips, they mixed, hit the back of my throat. I threw up immediately. I was like, and I'm outside. Thank God I was outside on the patio. Threw up behind a fucking plant. The bouncer knows me, so he comes over. He's like, Eric, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'm just, not because I'm drunk. I am drunk, but this isn't because I'm drunk. I did a bump, and it hurt, and I fucking puked, and that was it. And that was the only time I've ever done.
But did it straighten you out?
No, so I think because I puked, and it just made me sketchy and sober. That's so much so that I was like, I fucking met up with my girlfriend, and she's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I just had a really good night, and I feel totally normal, and this is how I act now. And she's like, okay. So fun. We went to bed that night, and she woke me up in the middle of the night because she thought I was having a heart attack. and my heart was doing the fucking Mambo number 5. So I was terrified about that. So I was like, okay, never again.
I was gonna say, I feel like you think you're having a heart attack often enough. A girlfriend that also thinks you're having a heart attack.
Yeah, my friend Blake says I've done all drugs. He was there that night. I'm gonna bring on our final guest of the evening. I'm gonna pause for a sec and just say that this has been my favorite episode of Eric Johnston Live so far.
Oh,
just
yay!
Because it has nothing to do with you. No, okay. No, it's been very flowy, where every story leads into another story and another experience, and I didn't plan anything. I'm like, I'll have Lianne and we'll just talk about drugs, and this is where we are. So I'm very happy about that. It's a show. This is the show, Jerry. So our last guest of the evening, which is perfect. We're perfect for time right now. She is a very good friend of mine, big supporter of mine. We met at a show I was doing in the East End of Hamilton. She owns a edible baking company. She makes the weed and puts it in the candies and stuff and gives it to the people.
In Hamilton?
Yeah, in Hamilton. You guys will talk. We'll get you good
Okay,
together. That's such a fucking stoner response. Like, where? Does she have a personal cell phone number I can get a hold of?
Yeah, she does.
She's a very good friend of mine, and she is the queen of green. She is the edible maker. Nicole Todd, everybody. Hi, pal.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, look at us. I just gave you a new business name, the Queen of Green.
You know what? Okay, so I feel so flattered with that because I've had a couple people refer to me as the Queen of Green.
See?
And like,
Yeah.
it just came naturally, and I love it.
You know what? I think it's nice because I called you the Queen of Green, but if you check your Instagram nickname is Dorito Slut. So it's, you have...
Maybe time for change.
Sometimes you just do things differently.
That in.
So we've got your new name. What's the name of your? Actually, first of all, hold on. If you want to follow, I'm becoming so much more professional at this. If you want to follow Nicole, her Instagram is I'm the Nicole, which is I'm glad you got that. That's like a hard name to get. The I'm the Nicole.
Yeah.
You can follow her business. What's it called? Snack Attack or Snack City or something?
So the Insta handle for my business is Snack City Bitch.
Snack City Bitch. Snack City Bitch.
See?
You can
and that
find.
works too.
See, look.
Yeah.
You can follow that, and I'm sure she can make you all the edibles, and you can get all the types of fucked up. So, Nicole, you and I are very close friends. We talk all the time. You know those people where you just, Lianne, where you just meet someone, and then you just become friends, and then the rest of your friendship, you just send memes to each other?
Yeah.
You're not like, you're friends, but you don't like hang out or anything. You just send each other memes all day. Nicole and I have that relationship, and I put the thing up on today, and I was like, you got to come on the show because I know you have weed stories. She's like, I might have a couple. I'm like, you have a couple. Fucking come on the show. And then she was like, okay. So I like I've been asking everyone, what's kind of your go-to number one? What's your weed story? Drugs of any kind? Weed, mushrooms, ecstasy, MDMA. You told me some shit about natural MDMA that you took recently.
Oh my god, I did that yesterday.
Okay, so
Recently.
so very recently.
So okay, well first I have to say I can't hear Lianne. Like her audio isn't coming through for me.
Oh. Check.
I can see her cute little mouth moving, but I can't hear her. So I feel like we're like miming to each other.
Here, watch this. Hold on, I'm gonna kick
I
you.
can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, but hold on one second. I'm gonna kick you. I'll bring you back in 1 sec. How about now? Leanne, talk.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can't hear Lianne.
Motherfucker.
I'll just enunciate well.
She's just having a bad trip. She can't. Feels like that's like there used to be this thing where everyone made someone have a bad trip and like put a pretend fishbowl over their head and they're like, wah, 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 wah. That's what we're doing. Nicole, just so I can fix this quickly, I'm gonna kick you out of here. Like I'm gonna kick from party. Just click on it again, and you should have no problems. Again, I'm not a fucking nerd, but that could be what happens. I'm gonna kick you. Come back.
I
Bye.
don't know any of this, so.
Kick guest. You're kicked. She's kicked.
And if not, people have, she knows I haven't got anything to say.
You've actually been a great. I don't know what the person is. You've been tagging a bunch of stuff. So let's while we wait for Nicole to come back, let's talk about some things. Never tried perks. Jessica said. It's a wild ride. Weed, just weed, says John. That makes sense, John. have a couple. What perks are so dangerous. See, I get it. I don't do them. I don't.
All dangerous.
They're all. They're all.
Get out of the shower in the morning's dangerous.
Again, very stoner response. You like it scrolls in the ground, but everything in life has a little inherent danger.
All risks. Yeah.
I'm gonna, before Nicole comes back on, I'm gonna share this stream myself again. And if you can see us, guys, as we get ready to close out this show, please share this stream for the home run finish that we have. Nicole Todd, I'm gonna bring her back on. Let's see if this works. Hello.
Hi.
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 I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes you just gotta kick you out of the room and let you back in and let you know that this is all. Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead.
Pretty familiar in my life, anyway, so that's fine.
You're kicked out of the room before you can come back in and fix your attitude.
Yeah, and then bring me back.
So, okay. So you're a drug user. You did MDMA yesterday, so that's
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So there's like this natural. I found a pill and was like, ooh, I'm gonna do this. It was just. It's like it's called Katie. So it's
Katie?
basically like a multivitamin. Like called. It has kava in it.
okay.
I don't know. Anyways, it was like a chill day yesterday, but I think I messaged you a couple times.
Yeah, you're like, I'm on MDMA. I'm like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
it's Wednesday. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
taking my
like
garbage cans.
So this is like a natural one, so it doesn't really give you like, it gives you kind of like euphoric energy, but it's not the same as real MDMA, which is hell, I think, for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Lianne, thoughts?
Don't share that. Don't share that view.
Is before, Lianne?
Pardon me?
Have you done MDMA before?
Yes.
Yesterday.
How was it?
I enjoyed it. I have not done it a lot, but I've done it a couple of times and I liked it.
Yeah. I've done it twice. The first time was fine. It was my birthday. I did half a pill. I felt like normal, fine.
Mm-hmm.
The second time was like a girls' weekend at the cottage.
Well, I'm just gonna pause for a sec. Everyone does drugs up north. I don't know what it is, but as soon as you get onto the 400 north, people are like, get out the drugs. I just don't. People in like poor towns like Gravenhurst must just see people like fucking high on drugs. It's like hummingbirds, like just like, I'm on acid. They're like, I'm just trying to shovel my fucking driveway here. Can you guys relax? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nicole.
So every year we go up north for like my friend's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We go to her cottage. We have a girls' weekend, and they're moms now. So like, I'm the fun friend, right? Like I have like, the connections, and I can get the stuff.
Yeah, you're the single one. They can't leave the house, but you can make edibles.
Yeah, right. So I bring like a plethora. Like we have like some like 5-year-old cocaine. Which is also hilarious. Like I don't do it, but that's why.
Obviously, if it got to be 5 years old,
it was not even a normal color anymore. It was like yellow, and I was like,
you're like, is this cocaine or fucking pancake mix?
mix it up.
So I think I brought like mushrooms, some weed, and MDMA, like the rest of the MDMA that I had.
Yeah, like the other half of the pill.
There was like, okay, so there was gonna be 5 of us at the cottage, and I think there was 4 pills.
Okay.
So
either odd man out, or everyone does a third.
Yeah. Well, usually I do like a half, so I'm like good with that. This time, so we get to the cottage, and it's like 2:30, 3 p.m., like afternoon. And I'm a like get down to business type of person. Like it doesn't matter if it's partying or work.
I know that about you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, let's get our bed set up. Let's get everything like situated, get ourselves some drinks, and get to it. Cool. 4 p.m. I'm like, hey guys, do you want to like do some MDMA? Do you want to like try it today?
Did you have that energy too? Did you clap with your hands like that?
Oh, every time.
I'd be like, no, crazy person. I don't want to do MDMA with you and the crabs. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. While we're paused here for a sec, I just want to bring up something funny. Before we were talking about my night at the Roxbury pickup lines that I say to people. So the first time, and I don't even really remember this because again, I was drunk. The very first time I met Nicole,
Oh no.
she said, "Do you remember what you said to me the first time we ever met?" And I was like, "No." She was like, "I swear to God, you handed me your follow me card because it was at one of my shows. So I hand out my follow me. I usually have them up here. It just says Eric Johnston, who follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back. Blah 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 blah." So I'm handing them out at the end of the show, and she comes up to me and she takes a card. And I was like, what did I say? Oh, follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back. Then I'll slide into your DMs, and hopefully someday I'll be able to slide into you. Was the first thing I ever said to her. And she's like, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she said it. She's like, it was fucking hilarious. She's like, I tell my friends about it all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
See, it was a half joke.
At that, well, I don't know.
It was a half joke. It still is, Nicole.
Okay, go on with your story, please. You did the MDMA at 3 or 4 p.m., 3 p.m.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Whenever you were.
So it's me, 3 of my girlfriends. We're waiting on the 5th person to arrive. We don't know if she's coming that night or the next day. So we're there. It's 4 p.m. I'm like, let's do it. Let's get fucked up. So we all have half a pill.
Okay.
And like, we're good. You're normal, right? Like,
Yeah.
like we're good. We're like having a good time.
You're listening to Dance Mix 95. Everything's good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we're living.
Love this vibe so far.
8 p.m. I'm like, I'm kind of like coming down. I feel very, because with MDMA, it's a lot of.
It's a roller coaster. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in this part, and I'm like, we should do more. Let's do it. We all do another half a pill. We get dinner ready because we're like, oh, we should like have our dinner and whatever. We'll sit out on the dock. Motherfucker. We're sitting down on the dock, and like the blood just leaves my head. It feels like it's going to my feet. It's ice cold, and I'm just, those big Muskoka chairs?
Oh, Adirondack chairs, those are called. I found out recently.
I'm sitting in it, and I'm just like slouching down, and I'm like, I'm gonna black out. And then I start getting like sweaty and like salivating, and I'm like, and then I start getting cramps, and I'm like, I'm gonna shit myself. Like,
okay.
And I was like, am I? Is this how I die? Like,
Oh, I love
I
this.
can't go up to the cottage because I'm gonna black out. I have to go to the bathroom. So, and I always feel like before something bad happens, the famous last words are always, "I don't feel well. I'm really high." If you hear,
I think that's what John Bonham said.
Yeah, like like if you hear someone say this, like they're not gonna be okay in the next 10 minutes. I turn to my girlfriend. I'm like, I'm really high. And she looks at me, and her pupils are like gigantic.
She looked like a toad.
Oh yeah. She looks at me, she leans in, she goes, "Me too, buddy. Buckle up." And I'm like, this is how it ends. This is the end for me. So I think that's like the main part of like it kicking in, right? And I had never experienced that before, so I was just like, it doesn't last very long.
Well, Jessica says, yes, the fucking pins and needles and chills.
No,
see, you're like, this is terrifying. Jessica's like, yes.
Yeah, no, I was like, I thought that was how it ended for me up on Turtle Lake.
You turned into a turtle. You're like, take me out to sea.
So after that, some time goes by, and it was like my friend's birthday that day, and like a full moon or a new moon or whatever it was. It was one of the moons.
Oh, also, I'm going to pause for a sec. Lianne, Nicole is what I call a part-time witch. She does the crystal charging and the fucking, what does your shirt say? Let's get baked in, easy bake coven. Is that a witch thing?
Yeah, my friend got it for me, and I think it's so suiting.
Nicole is what we call a part-time witch. She does the crystal charging.
Accepting of witch culture.
See, I knew you guys. This is like this is like a dating service for you, but for best friends. I was like,
I know you have a lot of great friends.
Yeah, I know. See,
I don't meet a lot of girls because I'm always with these goofballs.
Yeah, well, if he's out being pervy with us, as long as he can slide into our DMs and then into us.
I'm just fucking charming. Okay, so
You know what? That was my favorite introduction, and like I think in that moment I was like, "Well, we're gonna get along just fine." But,
now we just send memes to each other.
yeah, we send terrible things to each other.
So okay, so you're a part-time witch. It's a full moon. You're stoked about this, I'm guessing.
It's her birthday, and I'm like, so like we're like high now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
guys,
Fleetwood Mac is on. You're listening
No.
to Dreams.
And everybody had their period.
You guys synced.
we're sacrificing. No. So I'm like, guys, you know what? Like, this energy is so good. It started to rain. We go into this like covered gazebo. It's all like screened in, and I'm like, tonight's the night. You know what? We should burn our wishes under the moon. It's your birthday. Like, we're bringing this energy. We put on Solange.
Solange Knowles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You beat the shit out of someone in an elevator.
We're in this gazebo. We got one of the pots from the kitchen, like the old, like whatever.
Cast iron or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, like her mom's kitchen.
What do I know? Yeah. Go on.
This is our cauldron. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna write down our wishes, and then we're gonna, fold it up and put our energy into it, and we're gonna burn it. The fifth girl pulls up as like this is going down. And
Imagine pulling up to a fucking Wiccan service of 4 chicks on MDMA. I'd be like, I'm gonna bang one of them.
Jokes.
I mean, just kidding.
Just kidding, girls.
I'm like, don't burn any notes that says bang Eric Johnston. Anyways, go ahead.
So she pulls up and she gets out and she's like, hey guys, and we're like, oh, hey girl.
You're so warm and organic.
She's like, I didn't expect this at all. And like, then it occurred to me, like, we're all like budding out, like our eyes, like we're just like.
She pulled up to the fucking Thriller music video. You guys are just on MDMA burning wishes.
Like, there's a fire going, there's candles everywhere. I like brought crystals to give out, like it was a time.
So okay. So then what happened? You're just good for the rest of the night. So I guess here's the thing. This is what I need to learn about drugs, and I think everyone in the comments and everyone who's been on the show, I've learned this evening. We're not wrapping up the show yet. This is just like a final, one of my final learning moments. But I'll close the show in a bit. But I've learned that in this drug experience of whether it's weed, whether it's mushrooms, whether it's MDMA, whether it's cocaine, maybe not cocaine, maybe not any of the accelerants, maybe more of the hallucinogenics and the downers and stuff like that. I think you have that initial rush that would cause fear and cause panic.
Yeah.
And if you survive that ride, you're fine for the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've learned this evening. Am I willing to put this theory into test? Not a fucking chance. But I've learned, because it was always, and I also grew up with a group of fucking asshole friends who are my best friends in the entire world. But if I was having a bad time, they would be like, he's tripping. This guy's fucking tripping out. What, you can't breathe? You fucking baby? You can talk, you can't fucking breathe? Yeah. So I would be like, I can't breathe. Oh my God. Just thinking about it makes me fucking anxious. But you know what? Talking about it now as an adult and not gonna do drugs, I feel at peace with the drug experiences.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel good.
You made it through?
I survived the rush of the fucking drug talk. Nicole, I want to ask you a question before I wrap up the show, though. I know you make edibles. Have you ever made an edible so strong that it fucked you up that you were like, fuck, I might have to change my business model?
No, I haven't like drugged myself personally from my own.
Oh, but you're like, but I have killed some of my friends.
Yeah.
That's not good for business. She doesn't kill them. They just have a great time.
No one died, but they remind me of it constantly. So one of my friends, I had an oil I was using, and I was putting it kind of just on top of I think they were brownies or something.
Like a frosting.
Sure. It was like a dropper, but there wasn't that much
drizzle of a
Yeah. A jus. Let's call it a jus.
Yeah, an au jus.
We know you.
And it was there was only like a little bit left in the bottom of the container. So I thought. So I like poured it, and this whole bunch came out, and I was like, note to self, tell so and so, these are hella strong.
Yeah.
I give them to him, and we got chit-chatting about whatever other nonsense was going on in our lives, and I didn't tell him. I went to my next set of friends' house and was chatting with them, and like mid-sentence I was like, oh my god, you know what? He's gonna figure it out.
It's like I left the oven on. It's like, no, I might kill my friend. It's that same energy.
Yeah, because like I had known enough time had gone by that he had already done it. So it was like I was just like, you know what? He's gonna figure it out. And I messaged him maybe like later and was like, hey, just checking in. Like, are you okay? And he was like, no, what the fuck did you do to me? And I was like,
He's like, don't worry, I'm at the hospital now.
Just like, just checking in. Maybe you should have some more water.
Here's the thing about weed edibles. I think Sebastian Maniscalco or someone has a joke about it. But when they're like, just have a pinky nail, man. Just start with a pinky nail. Something that you have to take in doses of pinky nails is probably not good. I mean, it's probably great.
Those gummies that we used to get for doing weed shows and stuff, like I love those gummies. Because I don't know, like they're the right amount, whatever.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. You gotta trust that whoever made it a right amount way. Unlike Nicole over here.
It was good.
Fucking.
Usually I have like a number. Like I'm like, okay, you know, this is like this whole cookie is 50 milligrams. So if you cut it into 4, you're like in a safe space if you're a first time user.
Yeah.
That day. So first learning how to do edibles was a learning curve also, because I didn't know any of the numbers and I didn't know what it meant, and I didn't know 10 milligrams is like a beginner dose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's what I was gonna say. A guy at work was asking me how much to take for the first time. I'm like, I don't know, like a gram probably.
Yeah, like 10 milligrams is good for like a beginner dose.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know those numbers, so I had a coconut oil. All my product is vegan, so
that's nice.
Yeah, so I had a coconut oil that was infused, and I was like, okay, well, throw the whole thing in. Now, I gave some to a friend. She was my tester batch, her and her husband.
Yeah, to be the weed tester is a very special job.
It's a special job.
Yeah, that's Lianne's side hustle.
Yeah, and the other group that was buying them from me was like, how much should I have? And I was like, good question. Let me just and I was like, hey girl, how are those brownies? Like, what would you say? And the only response I got back was Sesame Street. And I was like, yo, I gotta go check on some people. Like, I think they're not okay.
You're like, I killed everybody. My cousin did a bunch of mushrooms once. I just remembered this when you said Sesame Street. They remember those big, like the first version of the flat screen TV where it was a flat screen, but then it had the massive fucking back.
Yeah.
Like a big TV.
Yeah.
He did a bunch of mushrooms or something, and there had cartoons on, and he thought, I want to get into these cartoons. So he fucking punched a hole through the big front of the TV and sat in the TV for like 4 hours.
Yeah, that's insane.
When people say things like that to me,
yeah,
I'm like, that's fun? And they're like, it was great. I was like, what do you mean? You ruined a TV. You can't think about.
I feel like it's like you have to have a little bit of that in you to start with, because these things happen.
That's the like anti-drug commercial right there, right? Like where you're just like, because like I've never had the urge to crawl inside of a TV. I'm gonna light some shit on fire. It might be on your front lawn. I don't know. But it's like I'm not crawling into a TV.
Jessica says that sounds like acid. That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
it would
like
be a thing.
small misdemeanors and stuff. But
Nicole, you have another girlfriend. My girlfriend wants to meet Nicole. I think for the edibles and for the MDMA and for the fucking witch shit. You are just making fans everywhere you go.
That's so fun.
well, maybe you should host the next one.
Yeah, this is no longer Eric Johnston live. It's his fucking Nicole Todd's fucking edible hour.
I took over by accident.
Tripping at the cottage.
Oh my god, what a fun show this was. Nicole, I gotta kick you off just because I gotta close the show with Lianne, but that was great. Anyone, hold on, not done yet. You're not done yet. If you want to follow Nicole Todd on Instagram, it's I'm the Nicole. You can find a link to her Snack City Bitch edible page. Just take a pinky nail. That shit will fuck you up. Oh, also, I got a new pinky ring, guys. It's a horseshoe. Thank you very much. Look at my stupid fat fucking fingers. My Johnsonville brush.
Somebody in the forehead with that. That would be
I got new fingernails, and that was like my big excitement.
Oh, press-ons. Look at us. It's a nail show. Okay, so I follow Snack City,
I have
bitch.
nothing to show.
Yeah, well, you have your Respect the Plan hat. Everyone's
I'm
got
not bejeweled at all.
I'm the only guy who puts cologne on to do a live stream. Anyways.
I wear mascara.
Oh, nice. So anyone follow Nicole on Instagram. She will make you some shit and fuck you up. Make sure she does the right batch or you'll be sitting in a TV. Okay?
Don't sit in a TV.
Nicole, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming on the show. Everyone follow Nicole. Bye. Oh, man. What a show, Lianne.
That was so fun.
I think I learned a lot. I think I'm ready to do drugs.
I think, you know what, I was just going to say, I think you've really, like, come around. You're
I've
like...
understood it. I was like, when we first started the show, I was like, you know what? Fuck drugs. I don't care what anyone says tonight. I'm not going to be convinced. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. And with every story, I was like, well, that kind of sounds fun. And that kind of sounds fun. Except for the fucking acid stories and shit like that. But I've learned. I'm not going to do them, but I think I'll be more like, if someone's like, take a hit, I'll be like, I'll try it and I'll survive the wave. And I'll have a great time.
Yeah. Maybe try the edibles.
No.
No?
I know that edibles gets processed through your liver. It makes it so much fucking stronger.
Well, do you smoke cigarettes? You don't.
No, I was addicted. Look, my mom just said, don't you dare. Mom, it's for comedy.
Is that your mom?
Yeah, Kathy John. Mom, I won't do drugs. I'm just trying to close the show in a funny way. The best part is she lives, I shouldn't say she lives in this house. I live in her house. So I'm going to turn this whole thing off, leave my office. She's going to be sitting on the couch like this. You better not do any fucking drugs. And
you should just say, thanks, Mom, for watching my show.
Mom, thank you for being such a big fan of mine. Nicole looks like she was sitting in a bunker Walter. She's like, this is where I make the edibles. So,
exposed bulb in the middle of the room.
Looking back at your own highs as a kid will really keep you learning as an adult. See? Look at that. We've all learned something. Can you do them live for your first time? That would actually be funny. I'm just like, and I'm going to do an edible. I'm going to do mushrooms. The whole show would just be like this. I'm holding the mic and the whatever. And I'm like, who are you? Are you an animal? What are you?
Make sure you promote that one well.
My mama, Lianne, I love you. I've loved you since the day I met you, and I think that you're so funny, and I can't wait to...
I don't remember the day we met. I was trying to remember if I had any good stories like that.
It was either Absolute or Comedy in the Creek. I know that they were very close. You know what it was? Comedy in the Creek, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, that was so fun. I loved that show.
Yeah, so I used to run a show. Anyone who's watching the show, I used to run a show in Stony Creek called Comedy in the Creek. I ran it for 4 years at a bar called Lotos. It was an event center / bar. It was great for 4 years, and at the end of the run, I'm not going to talk shit about the owner, but let's just say he thought to himself, I can do this without Eric. That's what his thought process was. I can run this show, and I can book these comedians. I don't need to... He's not paying me. I was taking the door. But anyways, doesn't matter. He thought he could do it on his own. He couldn't. We learned that pretty quickly. But one of my first shows ever, my second show ever, it was 2014, I believe, 13. You had just appeared on The View with Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes, so that was 2013. Yeah.
2013.
You're right.
You were fresh off your appearance on The View, and someone sent the clip, or I'd seen the clip, and someone said, "You know, she's from Hamilton, right?" And now I know Burlington, so I was lied to, and I was like, "What?" So I reached out to you on Facebook, and then you came and did the show. You fucking murdered. And ever since then, we've been buds. We've worked Absolute together. We tour. Whenever I always see you out in Toronto and stuff like that. And every time you're an absolute murderer. And I love you. And I think that I can't wait to do shows together again when this is all over.
Oh, awesome. Well, I've been really enjoying this. Like, I miss everybody. And I think, like, you know, there's a few good shows, these live ones. Richard Stoodle's got a good one going too on Saturday nights.
Oh, from Timmins, Richard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Richard very well.
And yours. So, so thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Oh, and Natasha says I was there. And she was there because I just started dating a friend of Natasha's, and she brought all of her friends, and you were on the show that night. And
I remember there were a lot of Italians.
Yeah, that's my neighborhood. That explains the rings and the cologne and my whole energy. I'm a product of my environment. Everyone, I'm gonna go back to this quick. Everyone follow Lianne on Instagram at JokeLadyHaha, which is another great handle. She runs the Mary Janes of Comedy, an all female comedy show. She also does shows all over the city. A couple weed shows, not all weed shows. We learned off the top of the show. And I just love you. Okay, I gotta kick you off, but we're not gonna close the show. Oh, Lianne, everyone follow Lianne. Bye. Oh, wow. We learned a lot this evening. We learned a lot about me. We learned a lot about drugs. We learned a lot about my friends. Laura Cole. Follow Laura Cole at Laura Cole Music on Instagram. We also learned about Kevin Shawanda at Kevin Shawanda on Instagram. And finally, we learned about I'm the Nicole Todd and her edible business, Snack City Bitch. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how to end this show. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to find that thing of Phoenix Tears that someone gave me, the CBD THC oil. I'm going to take a fucking drop because I'm converted. I'm going to do some drugs. Mom, I'm kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Eric Johnston Live. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you to everyone who watched this show, shared this show. Last time I checked, there was 16 shares on the show, I believe, and that means the world to me. We're going to probably have over 500 live viewers on a show about drugs done from my mom's attic. Ladies and gentlemen, please follow me on Instagram at Eric Johnston Who. I'm going to close the show with a little bit of an advertisement. Campfire Comedy Tour is coming this summer. Natasha B., who's actually watching the show right now, just booked me for June 27th. I'll be doing her backyard party, her her Canada Day party. So please follow me and follow the Campfire Comedy Tour for available dates and rates. I will see you all this summer. I am back Tuesday night, Eric Johnston Live, and Thursday night, Eric Johnston Live. Next week, I'm going to close the show with a live video of me having a bad trip. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you all so much. Thank you. Goodbye.
I'm going to die today.